well, there was a foul. It didn't seem to be too much of a touch on Mihailov. But I can't really understand that decision by the referee. Where the free kick is taken from now, there was no challenge at all. The player slipped, the goalkeeper's actually dropped the ball, and Dean's really a sharp onto it, and luckily for the defender, he's got a deflection on it. I can't see where the free kick has come from.
Stanov. And towards Penev. Seemed to jump at Kid Simon's given away. Stoichkov. Kostadinov in the middle. Lechkov calling for the ball, went for the shot himself. Lechkov screaming for the ball, but Stoichkov ignored him. Never really going to trouble Neville Southall, always going over the bar.
Yes, as soon as he's cut in on his right-hand side, I looked at Neville's position, and his positioning was absolutely superb, and for him to beat him on the right-hand side there would have taken something exceptional, and as soon as Neville seen the flight of it, he knew it was over.
Southall's kick. Pressure back on Wales. Simons thought about heading the ball. Eventually conceded the throw. Stoichkov to take it. Balakov to Stoichkov. Balakov trying to create space for the shot. And that's the goal! An excellent strike. It would have to be to beat Neville Southall from there, but completely unexpected. The first time, really, in the first half that they've gone for an effort like that from distance. It was a difficult angle, but he created the space for himself, and Neville Southall had no chance. And with 8 minutes to go until the interval, that's a blow for Wales. It's Bulgaria 1, Wales 0. A misunderstanding. Suddenly, Bulgaria have a bit more confidence, and it drops this time to Penev. Tries to play the ball back, and it very nearly came into the goal of Vinnie Jones, and Neville Southall had to be alert. The whole complex of this game suddenly has changed. One mistake, and Wales very nearly punished.
Yes, and that was the way our luck is at the moment. It was a deflection into the path of the Bulgarian player. We're under pressure at the moment. We've got to withstand this sort of pressure. We've got to stay in the game.
Wales have a number of players forward as the free kick comes in from chance. There's chance here. Mikhailov saves from Saunders, and it's a corner, but that was an opportunity, and it came really from nothing.
Well, it was a free kick, a great free kick in, and Bulgaria were all at sea regarding their offside tactic. Some people stayed. There was a good header back, I think, to John Hartson, and Dean Saunders was on for the rebound. The keeper's made an excellent save from Dean Saunders.
It's hooked away again. At this level, maybe, Brian, you have to take advantage.
Yes, that was the best chance of the game, and the keeper's made an exceptional save. If we could have scored one then it was a whole new ball game. It would have given the lads a little bit more impetus, given them fresh legs, would have kept us going a little bit longer.
Bulgaria comes searching for a second. Balakov and scored the first. The fine lay back for Kostadinov. Wales are appealing for offside, but the linesman didn't lift his flag, and Wales find themselves 2-0 down.
Well, he looks offside. If you look at the run of Mark Bowen now on the left-hand side, he's followed the ball in, and he's on the 6-yard line. It's level. It's very tight. It's difficult to see. Very difficult.
John Hartson has battled away gamely throughout the game, quite often by himself.
Yes, I think John will be pleased with the way that he's played today. In terms of chances, we haven't been able to create any for him. But I think he'll be quite pleased with the way that he's played today. Being at his first cap, I think he will have many, many more.
Certainly been an exciting few months for him. Moved from Luton to Arsenal, European football. As they will get in for the third. And Penev was unmarked, really. A And Southall had no chance. And I suppose you have to say that was poor defending. The Penef Rose really unchallenged, did well though just to lift the ball over Southall. The Welsh defence, they'll be looking at each other there and asking, well, where were we?
I think what you've got to put that one down to is lack of just concentration. I think that possibly will come through tiredness. It's late on in the game, we're 2-0 down. They are controlling the game, and basically lack of concentration inside the penalty box. I don't like to say it, but it does happen. That's not an excuse. I'm not defending anyone. It does happen. When you put so much in the game, you just do switch off.
Giggs. Final ball. Shot is in, and it's there. Dean Saunders has pulled one back. And what a pity that didn't happen 3 minutes ago.
Yeah, very much so. I'm pleased for the lads they've gone on the score sheet, because I think a 3-0 defeat would have been unkind to us. It would have been unfair. It would have been cruel. I'm glad we've got something out of it now. I'm glad we've got a goal, just to give the lads that little bit of a boost.
And Dean Saunders just took a swing at it with his left foot, and Mikhailov had no chance. That's his 15th goal for Wales. And it was created. Ryan Giggs, fine dribble across the field. Two players missed the ball, and he just dropped to Dean Saunders, and well,
yeah,
first time.
Excellent finish. Excellent finish. He's hit the target, and that's the most important thing.
And that's the final whistle. Bulgaria have won here in Sofia by 3 goals to 1. A far better Welsh performance, we have to emphasise that. But they were beaten by a fine goal in the first half by Balakov. Further goals were added in the second half by Penef, with both really, although I'm sure Kostadov will claim the second. Dean Saunders restored a bit of Welsh pride, as did the performance in general.
Welcome to Eurosport News. My name's Carlton Kirby. Plenty of European Championship qualifiers tonight. An awful lot indeed. Cyprus up against the Danes. Denmark in the red and white. Schoenberg opening up for Denmark with a header after just 2 minutes. We then had to wait just before the break. Agathliouis levelling the scores for the Cypriots. Cyprus not doing too bad, and it's a very tight group, this group 2. I can tell you that 4 teams with 5 points, trailing Spain, who virtually qualified with 13 points. And we can take a look at group 2 for you. Well, after tonight's results, that's how it looks. 13 points means that Spain are top of the pile, but look at that. Macedonia, Denmark, Cyprus and Belgium all level on 5 points apiece. It's wide open, a part that is for the poor old Armenians. Well, in Group 3, Turkey in the white up against Sweden. Well, plenty of teams have found the atmosphere on Turkish grounds intimidating, not least Manchester United. Well, the referee unintimidated by the crowd, giving the penalty. Darlin brought down. Anderson slotting it away after just 23 minutes. Well, Turkey always powerful at home, and they started to get back into this one. Emre it was in the second half who level the scores, a little bit scrappy. And Sweden desperately trying to close them all down. Have a look at that again. There he was, poor clearing, and indeed possibility of a deliberate handball had he been just a foot further forward. Anyway, Sweden paid the price of pushing forward. Sergen with the winner. Turkey coming from behind in fine style, and indeed it puts Turkey up into second place in Group 3, relegating the Swiss down into third. And despite all the other action, that's the way it stayed. Turkey 2, Sweden 1. Well, the Group 3 action, Hungary up against Switzerland. Hungarians in their familiar reds. Super crowd for this one, and they got a super game as well. Fabulous header from Kipric as the goalkeeper was advancing, sent him the wrong way. Had to wait till the 50th minute for the opener. Really was beautifully taken. Well, Illis, around 20 minutes later, made it 2-0 to Hungary. Now, if only they consolidated at this point, but ever trying to please the home crowds, they just kept pushing forward, and they was to start to pay the price of it. Nestor Subiac pulling one back. Sustained pressure from the Swiss, who aren't a bad outfit at all. Topping Group 3, I can tell you. And if you've done your homework, you'll realise that to do that, they've been playing rather well of late. Well, slightly scrappy for Subiac second to level the scores at 2 apiece. I think I could have popped that one in. 2-2 then, and it leaves the Swiss on top ahead of the Turks. And we'll take a look at Group 3 for you right now. And there it is, Switzerland with 10 points topping this group ahead of Turkey on 7. Sweden languishing in the middle, but it's early days. They've only played 4 games apiece, the top 3. And it's Hungary and Iceland propping them up for now. In Group 4, the Ukraine in the blue, up against the Italians playing here in the unfamiliar white strip. Weren't to be overawed though. Lombardo opening the scores after 11 minutes. An awful lot expected of Italy back home, and they delivered it in excellent form. Well, 6 minutes before the turnaround, Casiraghi made it 2-0. Italy then consolidating at the back, holding the scoreline at exactly that. Ukraine 0, Italy 2. Italy looking reasonably comfortable in Group 4, and we can take a look at how they're settling down. Croatia top of the pile with 13 points. Other results for you: Slovenia beating Estonia 3-0. Lithuania, Croatia finished goalless. Leaves Croatia on top with 13 points. Italy second place on 10, and it's Lithuania with 7, but with a game in hand over the other 2. Welcome back. Today's battle at Lansdowne Road thankfully took place on the pitch this very day. Niall Quinn with the opening goal just after the break. Jack Charlton's men in the green up against Northern Ireland. Well, the Ulstermen weren't going to lie down, and indeed Gordon Dowie it was. After defensive errors left him all on his own. Level the scores with 17 minutes remaining. Where were Paul McGrath and Phil Babb? So that one finished 1-1. Other matches in Group 6 this evening. Austria up against Latvia. Austria expected to score a hatful. They went on to do just that. Herzog, after 18, started the ball rolling. And Herzog was to feature widely in this game, as was Polster. Pfeifenberger made it 2-0 off the free kick. Lovely header, goalkeeper all over the place, wrong-footed. Don't know, he missed that. Anyway, third goal. Game of the second half. We were 15 minutes in when Herzog buried it for his second. And a foul on Dieter Ramos. Gave Polster a chance to open his account for the evening. Well, he did certainly look to make a meal of it. May have nicked him, but the referee had no doubt whatsoever. Ramush clutching his ankle. Polster sending it home. Indeed, Polster was to make it 2 on his account. Just before the final whistle, the snow coming down. Very cold evening. Lovely strike though. Austria 5, Latvia 0. And Austria doing themselves no harm whatsoever with that. Although they're still in 4th place, however, they've got games in hand, or a game in hand over the Northern Irish, who are up into 3rd after that draw with the Republic. Jack's men, slight hiccup there, but still in 2nd place behind the Portuguese, who have 12. Bulgaria up against the Welshmen in Group 7. A packed house in Sofia. Really was a most enthusiastic crowd, showing their appreciation of Stoichkov early on, and then that goal when it wung in. The crowd going suitably potty. It really was a master strike from Balakov. We can have a look at it again. Calm as anything. Shame about his teammates. Not quite the same. Reserved emotions. Watch this. He really did lean back and bury it. Couldn't have gone anywhere else. The angle so acute. Well, after half-time, it really was party time in Sofia. Bulgaria all over the Welshman. With the absence of Hughes and Rush, both men sorely missed. And Stoichkov got one in. Bellied it in, as opposed to wellied it in. Kostadinov, I'm sure, wishing to claim it. Look at this, off the gut. I think I could score a few of those. While Bulgaria not content with 2. Penev in space, no one at the back. That was 3-0. And while all the celebrations were going on, Bulgaria able to relax a little. Dean Saunders pinching one back to polite applause. Disastrous campaign for the Welsh. Lost 5-0 against Georgia, 3-2 against Moldova. Let's see the group. And there it is, guess who's at the bottom? Wales. Then climbing up, it's Albania, Moldova. Who'd have believed those teams could be above the Welshmen? Georgia, but really it's all between the 2 teams. Bulgaria on Germany, both with maximum points, and the Bulgarians with a superb goal difference. Well, in Group 8, Russia versus the Scots, and the hero of the night had to be Jim Leighton. Russia playing in the white. Leighton was making some absolutely outstanding saves. Well, that wasn't too difficult, but believe me, he certainly made some fine efforts on the evening. Well, debuts for Jaron Jackson and Colin Calderwood, and really they did the business, the Scots, closing down the Russians in front of 60,000 in Moscow. So a job well done for the Scotsmen, as it turned out. It leaves Scotland mid-table, and it really was bombardment time as Russia threw everything forward, trying to please the home crowd. Leighton in their way as much as anyone else. Goalless then. And we can take a look at the way Group 8 is shaping up now. And there it is, another result from Group 8 tonight. Finland beating San Marino 2-0 away from home. San Marino just above the Faroe Islands. Greece topping this one with 12 points from 4 games. Then it's the Finns on 9 from 5. Scotland still in with more than a shout. Well, in group number 1, Romania up against the Poles. Battle of Eastern Europe. And a battle royal it turned out to be as well. Foul of Stila on Juskowiak produced the penalty. A dodgy decision to say the very least. Juskowiak then standing up, didn't look too injured, did he? And buried it just before the break. Well, Romania in their traditional yellow showed plenty of character, to say the very least, in the World Cup, and that was on display once again. Lovely strike from Radichoiu, levelling things up just before the break. Injury time indeed in the first half. How he found that angle, only he will know. Well, there was more as we went further into injury time. Biladadici off the crossbar, feeling aggrieved. But in the second half, Prodin found the net. The Poles appealing desperately, saying their goalkeeper had been hampered by Radichoiu. But Prodin's efforts heading goal-wise. Romania 2, Poland 1. Well, not the only game in Group 1. France in the white, travelling to Israel, desperate to bury a few ghosts, as we said. Remember that match in Parc des Princes in France's build-up to what they hoped would be a World Cup campaign. Israel beat them that night, and I tell you what, they looked like they could have done the same on this evening. Revivo going close. Only the efforts of Bernard Lama, and some luck it was too, that stopped this one going in. Well, France were throwing everything at this one. A lot of face to be saved, and a few sad memories for them to be buried if they could. Wedek's efforts denied by Guinebert, the goalkeeper, and indeed Guinebert was in athletic form on the night. Le Guen, after the break, denied once again. Tabanin. The man to watch, this guy, who was sending in plenty to Lama. He was equal to them, and it finished goalless. Let's look at Group 1. And a busy night indeed in Group 1. Slovakia up against Azerbaijan. Slovakia taking it 4-1, moving up into 4th place. Azerbaijan firmly rooted to the base, just behind Poland. But top of the pile is Romania with 11 points from 5, then Israel and France. And Group 5 busy as well. Czech Republic beating Belarus 4-2. Luxembourg going down at home against the Norse. The Norwegians 2-0. And the Netherlands beating Malta 4-0. It means Norway stay top on 13 points from 5. The Netherlands with 11 from 5. Plenty of European soccer action last night. The international qualifiers, of course, for England next year. So England not there, involved in a goalless draw with Uruguay in their friendly build-up. But Spain up against Belgium. And what a match this one turned out to be in Group 2. Opener after 24. Guerrero. So Spain 1-up and looking tasty. They're certainly controlling Group 2 at the moment. Although De Gries out to spoil the party for the Spaniards. Well, Spain set-piece masters. This one parried beautifully by the Belgian keeper, and one apiece it finished in this Group 2 match. Well, also in Group 2, Cyprus up against the Danes. And indeed, surprise results on the night. Schoenberg with the opener in just the 2nd minute. And I can tell you, just before half-time, disastrous mistake at the back. Agathocleus levelling the scores. It went one apiece on the night. It was a huge shock to Denmark. The crowd in Cyprus, more than appreciative. Limassol still celebrating. Well, we can take a look how Group 2 settled down for you right now. And there it is, Spain on top with 13 points. So clear, it's unbelievable. Very tight behind them, though. Macedonia, Denmark, Cyprus and Belgium, all with 5 points. The Cypriots giving us some good run for their money, as you saw in Limassol. Excellent stuff in Group 2, Euro 96 approaching. Into Group 3, Turkey playing here in the white up against Sweden. Well, Thomas Darlin, the darling of the Swedes, after 23 minutes, picked up a penalty. And Kenneth Anderson slotted it home. Well, I tell you, Sweden were in for something of a surprise. Turkey, known to be a very tough team to beat, especially on home turf. Ask any Manchester United fan. And I can tell you, they slotted 2 home against Sweden to take it 2-1. That was the first. Empre with the header after 64, levelling the scores. The Swedes all over the place. Ravanelli didn't know what he was doing. And then, would you believe it, just 11 minutes later, Sergen cheering them all in Turkey. Where claims for offside, not a bit of it. He was clean. And indeed, Turkey started piling on the pressure. Demands for a penalty. Resulting in a red card for the Swedes. Didn't alter the scoreline though. Turkey 2, Sweden 1. Great game in Group 3. Well, also in Group 3, the Hungarians in their traditional red up against Switzerland, and this really was to be a bit of a ding-dong battle. All square until the second half. Then in the 50th minute, a magnificent header from Kiprich read the keeper's advances perfectly. Put it behind him. You can see it in slow motion. It really was an excellent strike. Look at that. So 1-0 to the Hungarians. They made it 2 shortly after. And really, it looked like the Swiss. They've done a lot of great things of late. They're on their way home with their tail between their legs. Illis making it 2-0. Well, there's a real fillip for Hungary at this point. So it looked like they were going to climb up Group 3. But Switzerland never to be outdone. Nestor Subiat bearing the header just a minute after Illis had put Hungary 2-0 up. So that was 2-1. The Hungarians getting a little slack towards the end of the game, and indeed with just 5 minutes remaining, Subiat taking advantage of the confusion. 2-2 it was to finish. So let's go to Group 3 and see how it's settling down. And there it is, Switzerland on top with 10 points. After that minor hiccup, Turkey in second place with 7. Then it's Sweden, Hungary and poor old Iceland at the bottom. In Group 4, the Ukraine playing here in the blue up against Italy in those unfamiliar white shirts. Well, the shirts may have been unfamiliar, but the style We've seen so much of it this season. Lombardo after just 11 minutes, putting Italy ahead. And it wasn't long before Casaraggi added to the score sheet. Italy, of course, runners-up in the World Cup. Their flair there for all to see. 2-0 in the first half. And that's the way it stayed as the Ukraine pushed forward in the second. Italy battened down the hatches, kept the advantage. 2-0 the final score to the Italians. And Group 4 looks like this. Slovenia beating Estonia 3-0, and it was scoreless between Lithuania and Croatia. Croatia staying on top with 13 points from their 5 games. Italy with 10 points from the same amount. 5 games still to play though. Welcome back in Rotterdam. The Dutch in their familiar orange strips up against Malta. They needed a hatful. Well, they got half a hatful. Opening strike by Seedorf, breaking the deadlock just before half-time. The Maltese had put up amazing resistance up to that point, but it really was the most amazing strike. Jos Højdonk had a bad time at home. Only been in charge 2 games, lost them both, friendlies of course. Well, Bergkamp fouled with 25 to go. Made it 2-0. And then the celebrations had begun. The Dutch started to relax, and their familiar style began to prevail. Winter making it count close in, and Kluivert with the final goal in front of 33,000 in Rotterdam. Holland 4, Malta 0. Well, it has to be said there are other teams that may score more against the Maltese. Let's look at the table. Well, before we do that, excuse me, we have Luxembourg-Norway from Group 5. The Norwegians, England eaters. Look at the conditions, unbelievable. Perfect for Norwegians, though, it seems. Lennartson making it 1-0 just after the half hour and 10 minutes from time. Asa, it was to bury the game. A tremendous amount of snow falling. As you can see, the ball changed colour, but the colour of Norway's credentials staying just the same. Luxembourg 0, Norway 2. 3,031 people turning up to see this one. Sympathies with all those that stayed at home. Norway then, 13 points from 5. Netherlands in second place with 11 points from their 5 games. The Czech Republic are third after beating Belarus 4-2. The Maltese at the bottom just behind Luxembourg. In Group 6, the Battle of Lansdowne Road thankfully took place on the pitch as opposed to in the stands. Ireland up against the North. Niall Quinn just in the second half made them all happy, but something of a hiccup. And around 500 Ulster fans making their voices heard. Gordon Dowie all alone. Where on earth was Paul McGrath and Phil Babb? Bit of a mix-up at the back. Dowie levelling it in the 73rd. One apiece it finished. Well, also in the same group, Austria against Latvia. Latvia in the red. Austria, though, tidier outfits of late. Herzog started their ball rolling on the night. That was an impressive performance by the Austrians. Well, they've had a terrible run of results internationally for quite some years. Pfeifenberger showing how much they've changed. Just before the break, Lovely control. Hint, perhaps, of a deflection. Herzog got himself on the score sheet once again, tidying up amidst the errors. That was 3. And Latvia, well, they began to panic a little. Goal difference could count for so much, of course, as Austria started to go for it. Well, Dieter Ramos looked like he'd been fouled, if at all, certainly outside of the area, right on the edge of the box. Penalty, however, whistled, and Polster, little stutter, hint of illegality about that. It was 4-0 with just 10 minutes remaining, and it still wasn't all over. And that snow that we'd seen in Luxembourg started to reach the Austrian Tyrol. Polster, watch this. Little shimmy, lovely curling ball. It was 5-0 on the night to the Austrians. Rather pleased with themselves. So let's take a rundown of the positions in Group 6. There we go. Portugal, top of the pile with 12 points from their 4 matches. Ireland with 10 from the same amount. Northern Ireland into 3rd place, 7 points from 5 games. Austria in with more than a shout in this group, currently 4th ahead of Latvia and Liechtenstein. Well, Group 7, Georgia against the Germans. And it's that man again, isn't it? Just can't stop scoring this season, not only for but internationally as well. Just 24 minutes before Klinsmann opened the scoring. Well, the best efforts from the Georgians coming to naught in Tbilisi. 75,000 turning up for this. And when you know it's around about 2 weeks' wages for one of these tickets, it's impressive stuff. Passions running high then. Klinzy, though, unimpressed. 2-0 to Germany. And it could have been more, as you see. Marcus Babel hitting the post, and the best efforts of the Georgians, saved by Kopka. So 2-0 to Germany. Bulgaria beating the Welsh 3-1. Dismal campaign for the boys from the valleys. Albania beating Moldova 3-0. And this is how Group 7 looks. Bulgaria at the top, ahead of Germany on goal difference. Wales at the foot. And Group 8 for you. Scotland did tremendous stuff, holding Russia to a 0-0 draw. Plenty of time for the Scots to make their impression here. San Marino going down against Finland. 2-0. Greece top of the pile here with 12 from 4. Finland in 2nd place ahead of the Scots. Well, in Group 1, Slovakia against Azerbaijan. The former communist states providing our packed calendar. Tittle it was. We started the ball rolling, the orange ball, for Slovakia, playing in the blue. Lovely strike from the youngster. Well, Slovakia looking very confident at this new international level. Timko keeping his head. It really did look like a game from the 70s, didn't it? Terrible conditions. Azerbaijan defense all over the place, drawn easily. Timko punishing them. Well, Stupala brought down. Dubovsky it was. We sent it home, cheering the 12,500 who turned up in Kozici in these dreadful conditions. And they had a game on their hands, they really did. Well, the home supporters at least. 5 minutes into the second half, it was 4-0 for Slovakia. Azerbaijan feeling sorry for themselves, perhaps. And they had to wait long and hard to get on the score sheet themselves. It finally came. from the penalty spot. Suleimanov making it Slovakia 4, Azerbaijan 1. Well, also in Group 1, France failing to bury those ghosts of Israel and their World Cup campaign. 0-0 it finished in Israel, and Romania beating Poland 2-1. Romania stay top, 11 points from 5. Israel in second place with 9 from 5. Then it's France with 7 from 5 games.
4 Wochen später, wieder in Salzburg, gelingt gegen Liechtenstein ein Blitzstart.
Janusz. Und die Chance zum Tor, jawohl. Kübauer, 1:0 nach 7 Minuten. Herzog. Polster. Bravo. Und ganz locker schiebt er den Ball in aller Ruhe ins Tor hinein, und nach 10 Minuten das erste Polster-Tor in diesem Spiel. Sein 29. Treffer im Team und 2:0 für Österreich.
Und nach nur 17 Minuten das 3:0, vorbereitet von Kübauer und Ramusch, erzielt von Debütant Herfried Sabitzer. Bis zum 4. Tor, da dauert es aber ein bisschen.
48. Minute, Elfmeter für Österreich. Toni Polster. Und gehalten von Öri. Gehalten von Öri. Er avanciert hier ja gerade noch zum Helden von Liechtenstein mit seinen Taten jetzt, aber er hat das Eck erkannt, und dann ist es immer ein bisschen eng für den Schützen.
Aber nach Foul an Sabitzer bekommt Polster 5 Minuten später eine zweite Chance. Und diesmal nützt er sie. 4:0. Länderspieltor Nummer 30 für den Kapitän. Erst in den letzten 6 Minuten fallen 3 weitere Treffer, alle durch Reservisten. Zuerst Markus Pürk bei seinem Teamdebüt 5:0. Und dann zweimal Adi Hütter.
Hoppala. Peter Adner.
Sehr schöner Zug. Super Tor.
Ja. Und sowas kann nur der Adi Hütter aus dieser Distanz. Ja. Adi Hütter, sein zweiter Treffer in diesem Spiel.
Das 7:0 gegen Liechtenstein, ein Kantersieg. Die Chance auf einen Rekordsieg, die wurde vergeben, aber Österreich ist wieder im EM-Geschäft.
The Northern Ireland side included Wrexham defender Barry Hunter, who was making his debut, but they were without the injured Sunderland striker Phil Gray. Commentary comes from Jackie Fullerton.
Babyshev. Play on. Kevin Wilson gives it to Gillespie. Gillespie runs his man. Oh, that's a good ball in. Dowie! And that was a tremendous save. And there's a shot of the bench. Brian Hamilton can't believe it. That's the 1-2 that worked so well to produce the goal in Dublin. There's the cross from Gillespie, the header from Dowie, but this time the keeper made a fantastic save. Brogus. That was off Wilson. Orlick in again, but loses out to Askafiev. Will try it, takes a deflection. Yeliseyov going in, that's a good save. It's not away yet. And Fettis did ever so well. And this time Northern Ireland come away with it. Colin Hill. But the Latvians a real chance just before half-time from number 11, Yeliseyev. And a very good save indeed by Alan Fettis. Hughes. Here's Worthington. Does well. Right foot. It's not away yet. Horlock on the fly. Hill.
and that was Zemlinskis to get it away with the header. But the green shirts have more urgency. McDonald has stayed up. Kevin Wilson is in there. Dowie, Hill, and it's wide of the post. So once again, the cross ball causing a few problems. And I'm sure Michael Hughes there in your picture, like Gillespie, has been told at halftime to get those crosses in. But Horlick again wins it. Hill away from his man. Oh dear, and he's run straight through. Is it Botkis who's gone down there? But we play on. Gillespie to pick it up. Could try a shot from there. Does. And Dowie just couldn't make it. Has a penalty been given? A penalty has been given. I think Dowie was claiming. Let's see. Gillespie through. And there it is. Yes, pushed by Troyevskis. A few whistles. They're not too happy with the decision. So Dowie to make it 1-0, and does. So the cheers below me, the Northern Ireland supporters in the crowds on their feet, and that's Dowie's 5th international goal. He got the one in Dublin last month, which meant so much to get the draw against the Republic. Well, he buries it. Wilson turned well. Chance out for the cross. Oh, Quinn, and that's a marvellous save. And right at the death, Jimmy Quinn almost with a second. And how did he keep it out? And a terrific finish to the game from Northern Ireland. It's all over. A 1-0 win for Northern Ireland. The only goal coming from an Ian Dowie penalty 20 minutes from the end. To joy here in Riga for Brian Hamilton and Northern Ireland. Final score, Latvia 0, Northern Ireland 1.
One other result in that group, Austria 7, Liechtenstein 0. The win for Jack Charlton's team takes them back to the top of the group, and Northern Ireland stay in 3rd place and keep their qualification hopes alive. How do you feel about tonight?
Goal action now from the match between Norway and Luxembourg, and this was to be a disappointing night for the Luxembourg keeper, Paul Kopp. The opening goal coming from Jakobsen after 11 minutes, and a somersault to go with it. Well, Minnie Jakobsen certainly enjoying the celebrations. Quality cross and a super finish. Holland and Czechoslovakia involved it also in this group, and a good win for the Czechs against the Dutch. But Norway needed the goals, and Jan Åge Fjørtoft, who opened his account for his English club side Middlesbrough in a big game at Barnsley over the weekend. Well, he got an international goal here against Luxembourg. Plenty of space for him, and it's squeezed in off Paul Kopp, and the now typical Fjørtoft celebrations, giving Norway a 2-goal lead after 12 minutes. The Luxembourg defence had crumbled, but this was a very poor goal from them to give away. The two centre defenders in together, Fjørtoft in off the deflection of Paul Kopp. 2-0 Norway after 12 minutes. Well, it was from the set piece that the 3rd goal came, and Kopp could only punch it away. And claims for offside as Bratak, the defender, got an unusual opportunity inside the 6-yard box. A first international goal, and the smiles on the Norwegians' face as Harald Bratak scoring on his international debut. Well, all credit there to Lars Bohinen. Who really made the life simple for Bretat, who scored on his international debut. Well, into the second half, and a lovely flick setting up a fourth goal for Henning Berg. And now it was just a question of how many for Norway. A decisive result here in front of over 15,000. And Henning Berg, what a year it could be for him. Well, the little flick at the near post, delightful. And Berg arriving to make no mistake. Well, the conditions far from ideal here. Drizzle in near freezing conditions, but Fjortoft's touch there was superb, and Berg took full advantage. Well, Minnie Jacobsen won possession here and took the return, and Rekdal combined. Superb action from Norway. 49 minutes played, and Kjetil Rekdal with the finish, but Minnie Jacobsen involved in so much of the build-up play. A great goal, smiles all round for Norway. Well, Jacobsen here, combining with a little dummy, and that was Fjortoft. 5-0 Norway. They couldn't add to it, but they'll be happy with that result against Luxembourg. Final score in Oslo, 5-0 Norway. Right, let's run through for you then all the results. France 4, Slovakia 0, as we've seen. Poland 4.
Calderwood's header has found Collins, and Scotland just breaking here with a bit more space in front of them. Can they make it tell? Oh, Collins has slipped through. Benedittini comes out, still Collins. He just had the strength to keep his legs and keep his balance. And John Clint of Celtic has opened things up. Here's Spencer. Managed to get it back. Here's Gary McAllister. The hands are in the air. Somebody wants it. Yes, it's there. And it's Calderwood, I think. Yes, Colin Calderwood. What a time to deliver your first goal for your country.
In recent friendlies, Greece have tried as many as 19 players in one game. But against Russia, who are in blue, they had to make do with only 10 after Yanis Karitsakis was sent off in the 25th minute. Soon afterwards, Yuri Nikiforov's free kick put Russia ahead. Not even the passionate Salonika crowd could revive Greece. In the second half, an own goal was followed within a minute by a killer blow from Vladimir Bischasnik. Greece 0, Russia 3. But Finland, having scored 4 times in the Faroe Islands, have a healthy goal difference to keep them clear of Greece and a point ahead of Scotland. But next time, the Scots have a go at the Faroes.
A pre-match salute to the great Eusebio could have served warning that Portugal are re-established as a power in European football, but the Republic of Ireland aren't impressed by reputations.
Here's Staunton, forward again for Quinn. George Costa out of the middle, slid through beautifully for Staunton. Still Steve Staunton. On to the near post, it's in, it's an own goal! The old stager gets his 18th, but it's Vika Bahia who stands shamefacedly there because he's thrown one in, and Ireland have got what they deserve.
It was another heady night of success for Jack Charlton's Jolly Green Army. But could his northern counterpart, Brian Hamilton, inspire similar in Latvia? Nothing less than a win would keep their qualification hopes alive.
Hill, away from his man. Oh dear, and he's run straight through. Is it Bolkis who's gone down there? But we play on. Gillespie to pick it up. Could try the shot from there. Does. And Dowie just couldn't make it. Has a penalty been given? A penalty has been given. I think Dowie was claiming. Gillespie through. And there it is. Yes, pushed by Troieskis. So Dowie to make it 1-0. And does.
7 goals was the scoreline by which Austria routed the minnows of the group Liechtenstein, although team coach Herbert Prohaska complained afterwards that his team had lacked ideas, with 3 of the goals coming in the last 7 minutes. Those results mean the Republic of Ireland have replaced Portugal at the top of Group 6 on 13 points. Northern Ireland's game in Portugal in September should be decisive for them.
It was a below-strength German team that Jürgen Klinsmann captained in Düsseldorf, and it was against a Wales team humiliated in earlier matches with something to prove.
Coleman. Saunders is not offside. The German stood back. Saunders, and that's a great start by Wales. Dean Saunders. 7 minutes gone. Would you believe it? Wales, the underdogs, have taken the lead. Erlich goes for the shot, and that's on the volley, and the equaliser from nothing really.
Germany stays second in the group as a result of Bulgaria's victory in Moldova. But those two are the likely qualifiers from this group. They meet each other in June in a repeat of their World Cup quarter-final.
Italy's game in Lithuania was preceded by a minute's silence for the 23-year-old Juventus player Andrea Fortunato, who died from leukemia the night before. 1 goal decided the match, Parma's Gianfranco Zola scoring direct from this 12th-minute free kick for his 4th goal in 3 games. Only 12 minutes gone in the game between Croatia and Slovenia wearing the green when the home goalkeeper Dražen Ladic was sent off, charging out of his area to bring down number 11 Klea. 10-man Croatia still went on to win the game though, courtesy of a superb 17th minute free kick by Robert Prosinecki. And then in the 90th minute, a fine individual goal from Davor Zucker. Zucker, a player who could soon be on his way to Italy. Croatia are one of the form teams of the moment, and that result keeps them the leaders of Group 4, 3 points ahead of Italy, who they play in Croatia in October. No one else is in contention.
Sweden's chances of appearing in the European Championship finals they hosted in 1992 are fading fast. In Budapest, they went down to a goal by Hungary's Gabor Halmai, scored after only 2 minutes. It was only the first win in 4 games for the Hungarians. In Bern, Turkey, in white, took advantage of a Swiss side deprived by injury of several first-choice players. A clever goal by Hakan of Galatasaray gave the Turks the lead. It lasted for 20 minutes until a shot from Newcastle's Mark Hottiger took a deflection that deceived Engin. But in the second half, the Swiss were caught out again. Ogun scored his first goal in 24 internationals. And back in Istanbul, that set them already contemplating their country's first appearance in the final stages of a major tournament since the 1954 World Cup finals. They sit on top of the group, ahead of Switzerland on goal difference. Sweden have ground to make up. Hungary have a game in